Everyone. My name is Sarah Easley, and today I will be presenting my research project titled Seeing Japan Through California, Kume Kunitake and the Meiji Project of Self-Modernization. My paper explains how Kume Kunitake, the secretary of the Iwakura mission, used his experiences in California to reflect on Japan's weaknesses and ambitions during the Meiji Restoration. In the mid-19th century, Japan ended more than 2 centuries of isolation. The arrival of Commodore Perry in 1853 forced the Tokugawa shogunate to open its ports, exposing Japan's vulnerability to Western powers. The new Meiji government recognized that survival depended on modernization. To study Western institutions firsthand, Japan sent the Iwakura mission, a delegation of over 40 officials and students, to the United States and Europe between 1871 and 1873. One of them, Kume Kunitake, served as the mission's recorder, documenting their observations in a 5-volume account published in 1878. My research asks, how does Kume use California as a reflection of Japan's self-awareness and modernization goals? I argue that, though his detailed observations of California's economy, society, and commerce, Kume recognizes Japan's internal weaknesses and its potential for reform. In using California as a mirror, he captures Japan's shifting identity and its anxiety about it being left behind, and its desire to join the modern world. When Kume arrived in San Francisco, he was struck by the city's rapid growth. From empty lots to bustling streets in just a few years, he concluded that today's wealth is yesterday's labor, meaning that effort and organization could transform any society. Comparing this to Japan's port cities like Yokohama and Nagasaki, Kume saw untapped potential, but also inefficiency. California's infrastructure, its docks, transport systems, and banks, exposed the flaws of Japan's outdated commercial networks that were controlled by powerful wholesalers. These comparisons revealed Japan's growing self-awareness of what modernization required. Kume also reflected on education and culture. Visiting a zoological garden in San Francisco, he noted that American exhibits aimed to educate the public, while Japan's exhibits focused on entertainment. He concluded that Westerners stressed practical science, whereas Eastern people emphasized the abstract. This realization tied to a larger Meiji goal. Modernization wasn't just about machines, but about cultivating civic knowledge and intellectual freedom. As Ito Hirobumi later said in San Francisco, by educating our women, we hope to ensure greater intelligence in future generations. At Landsberger Winery, Kume turned his attention to trade and reputation. He observed that American merchants prioritized credibility and long-term trust over short-term gain. He pointed out that Japan aimed only for short-term profits, which weakened its reputation abroad. To Kume, reputation represented national credibility, the foundation for Japan's global identity. Historian Marius Jansen confirms that Japan soon acted on these lessons, committing itself to modern industrial growth, founding shipyards, and protecting its new industries. In this sense, Kume's reflections foreshadowed Japan's transformation from an observer of the West to an active participant in global modernization. In conclusion, Kume Kunitake's experiences in California became a mirror through which Japan saw itself differently. His writing captures the nation's self-awareness, its recognition that modernization required not only industrial reform, but also moral and intellectual renewal. Through California, Japan confronted its anxieties and identity and its aspiration to become a modern, respected power on the global stage. In short, Kume's journey through California was not just Japan studying the West, it was Japan discovering itself.